Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024, and today I want to talk to you all about respecting your calling. Oftentimes when we are younger, we allow other people to disrespect our calling. We disrespect our own calling when we don't set healthy boundaries, when we don't honor our truth and our real truth, and not the truth that the world tries to get us to believe in, but the authentic truth of who we are and what our divine purpose is on this earth. You know, so many times I have let people dishonor my calling, both personally and professionally. Professionally, I work with clients every single day who are not ready for their healing. They lack the necessary awareness. They don't want to change. They're not motivated to change. They don't see a reason to change. And so I continue to engage with them, trying to build that motivation. And sometimes they yell, they scream, they curse, they're disrespectful. Now, the younger me used to tolerate that. I used to work with that resistance and constantly put up with the disrespect. But then I realized that, wait a minute, I'm dishonoring my calling. I am continuing to tolerate abuse and not set a boundary and a limit within this session. And I realize that I've done that also in my personal life. I haven't set boundaries with other people. I've allowed certain people to get away with giving me less. I've allowed people to get away with not investing in my pleasure. You know, um, as a formerly identified gay man, I used to all the time allow men to get away with not pleasing me. I used to always be so devoted to their pleasure, but they would not be invested in mine. And I've learned from that experience that when you're constantly pouring into somebody else, a lot of times you're doing that from a wounded place, because a healed person realizes that they too need love. They too need someone to pour into them. They too need respect. And so a lot of times when you're constantly pouring into other people, when you're constantly obsessed and concerned, overly concerned with their pleasure, it's because you're seeking approval, you're seeking validation, you're seeking certain things that you didn't get in childhood. So you keep on trying to work to earn this at the expense of your own desires, your own wants, your own needs. And for so long, I've done this, in past relationships with dudes, even in hookups. I was always overly concerned with their pleasure. I wanted them to say, "You're amazing, you're good, you're the best that I've ever had." My ego craved that at the expense of my heart and what it needed. And I realized that I can't do that any longer. I cannot continue to do that any longer. And so, what I've done recently is set boundaries with people. And I've learned that a lot of people, they don't like you setting boundaries with them because it infringes upon their freedom. And they want to have the freedom to treat you any kind of way and you not complain about it or have an issue about it. But I realize that, yes, people do have the freedom to treat other people any kind of way, right? But they don't have the right. They don't have the right. And that's when the boundaries come in. That's when you have to erect firm boundaries, and that's when you have to respect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Respect yourself. Don't allow these men or these women to show up in your life any kind of way. You hold them accountable. You dignify them with accountability. And that's how you dignify other people. You hold them accountable. You make them see that they can't get away with treating people like this. You set a limit. You have an expectation, you have a requirement. And if they do not meet that expectation or requirement, they have to go. And it's okay that they have to go. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes we are so afraid of being abandoned that we tolerate poor behavior. But it's okay if a person can't measure up, if they can't afford the cost of our boundaries. That's fine. They lack the awareness, they lack the wherewithal right now. That's their life story. They're going to have to pay for their lack of awareness because we all have to pay. That's the thing. We all have to pay for our choices. I've had to pay for my choices in always prioritizing the needs and feelings of other people at the expense of my own needs. I paid in the way of heartbreak. I've suffered numerous heartbreaks and disappointments as a result of me constantly putting myself on the back burner. I had a price to pay, and I can take accountability for that. And that's important too. You have to take accountability. A lot of people don't want to take accountability for the way that they show up. They don't want to take accountability for the way that they treat people and treat other people, but that's the thing about it. This is why certain areas in life they suffer. They suffer in certain areas because of their unwillingness to take accountability, because of their unwillingness to actually own their nonsense and do something to correct it. They are where they are in life because of who they are and who they choose to be and what they choose not to see. That's why they are where they are in life. And so I realize that accountability is really a great thing when you are, I guess, when you're holding people accountable, you're saying to them that I dignify you and I believe in you and I trust that you can do this. You can be a better person. And as I mentioned before, a lot of people, they push back. They don't want to be accountable. They want the freedom to choose and freedom to live their life, and they don't want no one to infringe upon their freedoms. And that's fine. You can be free, just not with me. You can be free to disrespect other people, just not here. You're not going to show up in my life this way. You tell people when you set boundaries that I don't like the way that you're showing up for me. And if you cannot show up for me the way that I need you to, well, then you're going to have to go. I'm going to hold the door open for you, and there's no hard feelings, no bad blood. You're just not for me. But I realize that, you dishonor and you disrespect your calling when you constantly tolerate poor behaviors. When you constantly put up with people disrespecting you, not giving you what you need, treating you any kind of way, just not honoring you. I think the goal in life, truth be told, is to honor one another because that's how you introduce people to God. Sometimes your behavior, your presence, your energy can be someone's first introduction to God. There's a lot of people out here that need God but don't believe in God. They need him but they don't believe he exists, and you can be living proof that God does exist. You can, your behavior, you can introduce people to God by how you dignify them, by how you honor them and show up for them. A lot of people don't realize that. And I realized that for a long time, I didn't realize that. I could be somebody's first introduction to God. While living in the gay life, instead of preaching to people, instead of making sure that they were, sanctified and, I guess, salvation ready, I basically made sure that they were ready to screw. Are they prepared? Do they do their water bottle treatments, and do they do their, do they flood? Do they fleet? Do they, what? I've just been thinking a lot of the ways in which that I've dishonored myself. I gotta be real. The ways in which I've dishonored my spirit. We don't even realize that we dishonor not only our calling, but our spirit. And to deviate a little bit from the initial topic, I realized that for 17 years, I was living my life as a gay man. And it was a very, very traumatic experience for me. It was fraught with heartbreak. It was fraught with loneliness, depression, suicidal ideations, drug abuse. Men constantly wanting to use and abuse me, not love me, not dignify me with a date, but come over and put my life at risk. And I didn't realize, and this is what I want y'all to get. Please, 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 listen to me when I say this. When you are in this life, first, it will attack your heart, right? So your heart will be broken. Then it'll attack your mind. It'll attack your mind in the form of false doctrine, in the form of false beliefs, quote, I was born this way, in the form of men who leave you troubled and leave your mind in a state of turmoil with their poor behavior, you know? So it'll break your mind, and then it's coming for your body in terms of HIV/AIDS, in terms of STDs, syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes, all these new things. It's going to try to attack your body. And then when it attacks your body, you're gone. So first it comes for your heart, then it comes for your mind, and then it comes for your body. But then lastly, it comes for your spirit. It comes for your spirit because if your spirit is broken, then you can't basically function. It comes for your spirit. It makes you lack motivation. It makes you depressed. It makes you just feel bad, you know? I realize I've wasted so much time trying my best to be loved, trying my best to be seen, trying my best to be respected, trying my best to be nurtured. You know, and it affected my calling. It derailed not only my legacy, but also my calling. Living my life as a gay man for 17 years derailed not only my legacy, my ability to produce children and go out here and, you know, and carry on my legacy, children who will, you know, honor your legacy. It also derailed my calling. You know? And it's true, all you're left with is a series of regrets. You did it all. You pleased these men, you know, but that's, once again, they were moments. As you get older, you stop living for the moment and you start living with forever in mind. You start living more with the future in mind. When you're younger, you're looking for experience, you're looking for fun moments, you know, nights to remember. But as you get older, baby, whew, you look for more than just moments. You look for people who are going to be part of you forever. And so this is why we can't let certain people and certain desires derail our calling. You know, you have to respect your calling and you have to honor your calling because God is calling you. He is calling you. He's saying, please come home to me. I miss you. I miss you. I hear that every single day. I hear that every single day. God is saying, I want to build relationship with you. I want to love you. Will you let me love you? Or will you continue to resist because of your wounds? See, we're so busy saying to ourselves, I'm out here living my truth. No. Correction, you're out here living your wounds. How do I know? Because I am living my wounds. I'm not going to say I was. I am. I'm out here living my wounds. Not living in my truth. Because the truth is, I was born with a purpose. I was born with a calling. There is a calling on my life. God is trying to dial me up. But I'm not picking up the phone because I'm out here thinking I'm living my truth. I'm living the way that I want to live. I'm doing what I want to do, right? But I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm doing what my wounds tell me to do. I'm doing what that broken heart tells me to do. That broken heart tells me to go out there and sleep around. Go out there and fill my life up with empty pursuits. That wound tells me to go out there and forget these people. I'm living my way. To dishonor other people. To not care about their pleasure. Oh, I'm living for me. I'm living for me. My wounds tell me that. But that's not my truth. It's not my truth. A lot of us are living from our wounds. And as you get older, you start to realize, wait a minute, I'm operating from my wounds. You know? I'm going out here chasing these men, right? But I'm not dignifying these men. I'm degrading these men. I'm not holding them accountable. I'm not telling them that they need to operate in their masculine energy and stop showing up, trying to be feminine, trying to be, no. I'm not dignifying these men. I'm not dignifying these people. Why? Because I'm operating from my wounds. My wounds tell me this is my truth, but this is not my truth. And so once again, you have to really assess and sit with yourself and say to yourself, what is standing in the way of my calling? What is standing in the way of me taking those steps necessary to realize my genuine truth and not my wounded truth? What is standing in the way? What is interfering? And if that's interfering, that needs to go, because I see long term, I see calling. I see calling. I see you. My eyes are on the prize. I'm seeing calling. I'm seeing it call me. I'm seeing God tell me every single day, I miss you. I love you. When are you going to come home to me? When are you going to actually lean on me? You know, I was reading Isaiah 48, 17 and 18. You know? And it's a powerful scripture. It really is a powerful scripture. You know? God is saying, if only you would listen to me, then your peace would be like the river. You know? If only. I would encourage you all to read that scripture. That's Isaiah 48, start at verse 16, go to verse 18. It'll definitely make you feel like, wow, if only you would listen, if only. Because I'm thinking you got to respect your calling. You know, you got to respect your calling. You can't let people show up in your life any kind of way. And when they think that they can show up any kind of way, you know, you have to let people go. And even you have to let your own just limiting core beliefs and these limiting mindsets that you have to let those go too, because sometimes your own mind can be your worst enemy. It can also cause you to show up as not yourself, but as a wounded version, you know? The mind is indeed a battlefield, and you have to battle with these negative thoughts. You have to battle with these thoughts that tell you that you're not good enough. You have to battle with these thoughts that tell you that, you know, you're entitled to go out there and sin because, well, God is not answering my prayers, and God is not listening, and God is this, and God, you know, he don't care about me, and no one loves me, and I'm not, all these negative thoughts, you know? I'm important to no one. I'm not valued by anyone. All these are negative thoughts that are basically causing you to self-destruct and that are affecting your calling. So they have to go, because that's not true. Those thoughts are not true, right? Because for one, you are always the someone that values you. You are always the someone that's important to you. You are always that someone. So you are someone. You are the someone that you've been waiting for all along. Your calling is calling you. It's time to pick up the phone. It's time to answer. It's time to let go of anything that is standing in the way of your calling, whether it be family, friends, enemies, people, holding on to past regrets, holding on to past remorse, holding on to past errors of people. Let those things go. Realize that right now, you and your calling are in a relationship. And it's time to actually show some fidelity, show some commitment, and stand with your calling and honor your calling. It's time. It's time. If you needed a message today, if you needed some inspiration today, if you needed a sign telling you to honor your calling, this is that sign. Please Don't let anything distract you from your calling. Don't let anything or anyone knock you out of the box, because you have so many blessings waiting for you behind that calling. So many blessings. But once again, we're out here holding on to pennies while forsaking dollars. We're out here holding on to pennies and crumbs while forsaking the dollars of our eternal blessings. And it's just not worth it. Just trying to always penny pinch and grab a penny here, a penny there, penny, loose change. Why? Loose change. No, it's time for some real currency. The real currency of walking in your calling, as opposed to the loose change of loose conduct. Walk in your calling. I definitely want to meet you there. I definitely want us to walk in our calling, because it's hard out here. It's hard, and I see so many talented people constantly just go by the wayside because of so many different things. I saw myself for a long time going by the wayside. Allowing all these people, these men, these relationships to just eat away at my love, just eat away at my heart and my ability to love. And then you have to take a step back because you realize that you're going too far away from the person that you are. You know you're good. I know I'm good. I know that I deserve better. And so that's the start, knowing you deserve so much better. And you do. You really do. So go out there. It's time. It's time to get your better. It's time to feel better. It's time to get better. I love y'all. Peace.